Electricity is an important part of our daily lives, but what impact does electricity generation have on our environment? Is there a way to minimise this effect? What's the difference between renewable and non-renewable energy? These are all important questions that need to be asked when thinking about our impact on the environment. This video will take a look at the effect non-renewable electricity generation has on our environment, as well as how solar energy may be the key to a sustainable future.
There are four main non-renewable energy sources. These are crude oil, coal, natural gas and uranium. As Australia uses no nuclear power, we won't be discussing uranium. The 2017 Australian Energy Update gives us insight into what sources our electricity actually comes from. About 85% of our energy comes from non-renewable sources and 15% comes from renewable sources. 63.4% of our electricity was generated using coal over the 2015-16 time period. Coal is burnt to generate electricity and is reliable and reasonably inexpensive to obtain. However, the people who obtain coal work in extremely dangerous situations with risks of cave-ins and toxins. About 20% of our electricity needs were met using natural gas. It generates electricity in a few ways. One is by generating steam. This steam turns a turbine, which generates power. Another is by running a combustion engine, which also turns a turbine. Gas is a lot cleaner than coal, emitting at least 50% less carbon dioxide than a typical coal-fired power plant, and is significantly cheaper. On a slightly unrelated note, natural gas is also a lot cleaner when used in a vehicle, emitting 15 to 20% less heat-trapping gases than gasoline. But, like coal, there are dangers associated with the extraction of natural gas. Drilling for natural gas has a significant impact on the environment, sometimes altering land use, harming local ecosystems, and contaminating water sources. And finally, crude oil accounts for 2.2% of electricity generated.
The disadvantages are that it's non-renewable. When it's gone, it's gone. The more reliant we become on fossil fuels, the harder it will be to switch to purely renewable energy in the future, when we use up all of the non-renewable energy. There are advantages to renewable energy though. It's abundant, it's affordable. That's it actually. However, solar energy is the future. At this stage, only 2.7% of Australia's generated power comes from solar energy, but there has been significant growth in the electricity generated by solar over the last few years, and the increase in rooftop solar installations has a lot to do with this. It's time for our quick summary of solar. Solar energy is generated by the heat and light of the sun. Solar power is produced when this energy is converted into electricity. There are two main types of solar energy technology. Solar photovoltaic cells convert sunlight directly into electricity. They can be put on rooftops, integrated into building designs, and put on vehicles. Solar thermal panels convert sunlight directly into thermal energy, that is heat. These panels can be used for space heating or heating water. That sounds good, but what are the advantages and disadvantages of solar power? Well, in terms of advantages, after the cost of acquiring and installing the panels, there's not that much else. The maintenance costs are negligible as well. If you decide to install batteries, you have a reliable backup in the event that power from the grid goes off. And also, there are no emissions. There are a couple of disadvantages, like the initial cost of the panels, the fact that good weather is required for the panels to be efficient, and also the cost of the batteries are fairly high. These are really the only disadvantages of solar energy. So let's go for a drive and see where solar energy can be used in the community.
Our first destination is the Casino RSM Shopping Village. Here we see the solar project that the Casino RSM Club have started work on. This is a massive project that will generate 100 kilowatts of electricity when it is completed. It also serves another purpose. It covers the vehicles parked in the centre bay of the car park. Casino RSM Club plan to eventually be fully off-grid. So looking just over the road, we can see a bus and taxi rank. Now looking at this, you'd think this was a normal bus bay, yeah? Well, look right over here on the roof. What's that? You guessed it, a set of solar panels. What about here at the taxi rank? Yep, there's panels there as well. These areas require lighting at night, and it would be inconvenient to run these sites from the grid due to the cost. Because LED lighting is very efficient, these sites can be run purely from solar electricity, hence reducing the cost of these sites and their impact. And yes, the taxi pictured is hybrid, further reducing the impact on the environment. After about a 5-minute drive, here we are at the outskirts of Casino. Richmond Valley Council have deployed signs at the outskirts of their towns that feature lighting. However, due to the location of these signs, it is hard to power them from the grid, so they used solar. Reverse vending machines for New South Wales Return and Earn scheme seem like the perfect target for solar electricity. These machines don't appear to use too much energy and are in locations where it would be inconvenient to power them from the grid. These sites promote recycling, however, almost all of them are not using renewable energy. If they were, they would not cost as much to run, might be less of a hassle to install, and would be promoting sustainability.
So is solar energy a key part of our renewable future? I think so. Being able to generate electricity with few consequences in a way that does not harm the environment will play a very important part in our sustainable future.